2025 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners for the purpose of doing the Warren 129 Main ditch petition viewing. I am Jeff Benton. I'm Vice President of the Board this year. The President, Barb Lewis, is not available today. Fellow Commissioner Gary Merrill on my right. I will go through what we're doing with this viewing here today real quick, just so everybody knows. Let's see. There is a sign-in sheet circulating in the room. We ask that you please sign the sheet to indicate your attendance. Today's viewing of the proposed improvement is taking place at the office of the Board of County Commissioners with the use of video technology. That's been in place for several years now. It really makes it much better for us and for everybody else, I think. The video will be available to gain an overview of the project limits and specific areas. We'll see that. No testimony or decisions are made here at this viewing. This is a way for the board to become familiar with the area. And again, that's a tricky question or a tricky issue, because lots of times people want to talk about why this is a good idea or why it's not a good idea. And what we ask is please just point out whatever you want to point out about the ditch petition and why it's, just anything you want to point out about it, but not get into it's a good idea, bad idea, and so on. First hearing on the petition is scheduled for Monday, November 3rd, 2025 at 10 a.m. At that hearing, we'll hear a report from the engineer's office on the petition, and that is the time for landowner testimony for or against the petition. When it is time for landowners to point out the drainage concerns in the area, we will work our way through the participants. As a reminder, again, this is not the time for testimony. I'll now turn the proceeding over to Brett Bacon. Here's Brett with the Soil and Water Conservation District. Thank you, Brett.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Brett Bacon, Delaware Soil and Water Conservation District. We have one video for you that is two videos stitched together, and I've gotten fancy and added captions to the videos here. I'll point out some things along the way. I would like to, be able to say that I learned how to do this myself, but my 13-year-old daughter taught me how to do it. So we'll have her to thank for getting a little bit fancier. The two videos are the main petition that reflects the signatories for the original filing of the petition. The second video, or second part of the video, would reflect the amendment that was discussed in session today that was turned down, but is going to be refiled because it was incomplete. So we do have that video, so that area is covered by today's viewing. We would not need to reconvene the viewing. So I will start and I'll point out things. This video is flying downstream to upstream. And this was May 20th of this year that we took this video. And you can see the two large holes on the right there. Those are blowouts on the existing tile system. And then you can see the holes in the middle of the grassed area there. Those are long stretches where the existing tile has deteriorated.
Where are we?
So on your maps, this would be starting at this point right here.
Just hold it up.
I am.
North.
Yeah. Starting there, and we're flying this line here. Yeah. So left to right. Thank you. This point right here, this is where the amendment lateral would enter or join with the main. And we're continuing up the main line now. Some more blowouts there on the right of the screen.
Sorry, a blowout just where the drain is exiting.
It's where the tile has broken down and collapsed. Yeah. This would be entering onto the Preservation Park property, the Gallant Woods Preserve. coming back off the park property. Some more blowouts there. The kind of darker area here in the middle would be indicative of where the surface water is trying to run. Just a little bit wetter soil.
Do you know why there weren't any blowouts in the reserve?
I have not been on walk that part, so I'm not sure.
How old is the existing tile?
I have not done the research on it yet, but definitely pre-1957.
Where are we approximately?
Just crossed the railroad.
At Buttermill?
No. Heading towards Troy Road. That would be why. That's Troy Road right there. Okay, now this will start the section for, I'll call it the possible amendment at this point, pending that amendment getting properly filed, but I'm pretty sure that it will be. This is back on the downstream end at the junction with the main. You'll see that the landscape looks vastly different at this point due to this was taken August 7th of this year, so just last week. And obviously we have crops on the field, so it's a little harder to see the issues, but this does fly over the path of the existing tile. And the hills, number 195, Mooney number 132, would be considered a lateral or a sub-watershed of the greater Warren, number 129 watershed. do believe the pond, or the tile skirts around that pond. It does not go through the pond. Going to be a slight glitch or hiccup in the video here. It's just where I stitched two videos together. That is Hills Miller Road. We're flying parallel to, heading to the east.
Are there blowouts here?
I can't really say, just because of the crops. It's likely there probably are some, but these tile would all be about the same age. I can say for certain, I do know there are issues where this tile crosses underneath the railroad tracks, approximately right about here.
Are the railroads responsible for any costs?
They would be an assessed party if the project would move forward to construction. Troy Road again there. And we will have further information on the ages of these systems when we prepare the first hearing report. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Brett. I had, Commissioner Merrill, question?
Nothing at this point.
Are the two independent? Can,
They would not be totally independent, but the junction is on the very downstream end of the Warren project. The Warren project would be considered the main.
okay.
It would be conceivable that we could propose that furthest downstream section up to the junction point as one option. That would certainly have to be done for either of the two upstream options to be considered. But both of those, from the junction point up, they'd be independent of each other from that point up, but not independent of that last downstream section. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I figured there probably was at least the lower part, something like that.
Yeah. Have not obviously, started considering an estimate or how we would break this up, but I would lean in that direction, that's how it would be structured.
I saw a lot of blowouts.
Yeah.
Particularly the first.
To the question of age, I mean, the number started in 1868 with number one and continued up from there. So I'm going to guess what I'm going to find when I look in my records is 129 is probably sometime in the 1900s.
Okay.
So.
Okay, with no other questions
I
from
don't really think
from
I
the
have
board.
anything. It's pretty obvious what
Yeah,
the
there's
situation
clearly some
was
issues
from
there.
watching the video.
I will open it up if anybody wants to, again, not testimony in favor or against, but open up to point out anything about the area under the petition.
I just wondered if no, I just wondered, is this
Yeah,
project
come on up. And
primarily the Warren
if-
129?
if you could just
Sorry,
just
Richard
identify
Mayo.
yourself.
What do you need? Sorry.
If you could just identify yourself.
Oh,
for
yeah,
the
yeah, sorry.
coordinator.
Richard Mayo. I own two properties adjacent. They're on the east side of Troy. And this the storage facility and then for another property. Ours ties into Hills 195. And I just wondered if the Warren 129 and then I noticed the 195, the Glover 284 pieces, which this project is, which parts of it, or is this project primarily focusing on? It sounds like primarily the 129, but then there's going to be some carryover.
So petition projects are responsive to the request that is submitted. Currently, officially, we only have two parties that have signed the petition, that being Earl Lehner and Richard Lehner. We design improvements as far upstream as the furthest person that signs the petition. Landowners do have up to 21 days after today, well, 22 days, considering 21 days is Labor Day. So September 2nd would be the deadline to file an amendment to the petition. If a landowner wants improvements to be considered to be designed to their property, they would need to file that amendment form by September 2nd. We do have one pending that would be on that Hills lateral up to Troy Road. But specifically, if a landowner wants to request improvements, they need to file that amendment for us to be able to do that.
Okay.
And I'll say, if anybody has questions about that or would like to discuss more in detail over the next couple weeks, what a petition project would look like for their property or what just we would consider, how that process works, please contact me at my office. I'm happy to arrange a meeting with you, so.
Okay. Very good. And again, those videos are very helpful to see, again, the lay of the land and the issues that are driving the petition being presented. I don't know, anybody else have anything to point out? Come on up.
Hello, I'm Chris Rashawn. I work for Preservation Parks of Delaware County. Just pointing out, there was a question about why there didn't appear to be any blowouts in the Gallant Woods Park District owned property. I was just pointing out, we paid to have new plastic pipe put in 2013 in the Gallant Woods section. That's all.
Okay. Anybody else? Yeah, come on up, sure.
I'm David Andrews, I live at Hills North Troy Road.
Okay.
I had a question. It looked like most of the problems were on the one farm. Are there ways to kind of mitigate any of those problems? Like, does the farm equipment cause any of that problem or overuse on the farm?
No, not in my opinion. What you were seeing is pretty typical of older systems that have just not had comprehensive maintenance over the years, and that can be through, for various reasons. Absent of a petition project post-1957 and being on drainage maintenance, there's no mechanism for the county to be responsible or have the authority for that comprehensive day-to-day maintenance of a system like this. A lot of these tiles, like I said, they were put in anywhere from 1868 up through 1956. The material was clay. It's just old and met its life expectancy, and it needs that comprehensive material replacement. So I wouldn't point out or to me, what you're seeing is natural decay of the system, not a result of any activity on the landscape, be it farming, be it rural residential development, be it whatever. It's material that's kind of giving up the ghost and decaying.
Sorry, another question. Where does it
Yep.
run off
You gotta come up to the microphone. We're recording it.
to?
Thank you.
Where does it drain to?
Question for Britt?
Yeah, this entire system drains to the Delaware Run ditch, which was improved in 2003 and is on maintenance. It's just this system upstream of the outlet into the ditch is not. And then ultimately Delaware Run drains into the Olentangy River just south of William Street.
Right. Okay. Another question? Come on up.
Yes,
You could give us your name and address.
Joe McLeod, 2648 Troy Road. My family owns property there. When it comes to this, the first view that you did the drone with, and then this one here, the yellow part you have, where the yellow is this the new structure of it? Okay, that's
The yellow boundary is the watershed line, so that's signifying the drainage area for the system. So anything within the yellow line, we would say at this point drains to the system at some point. The other lines are, right now, they're lines that signify where the drone flew, but they're pretty much drawn over the old tile lines that we would have records of.
And Brett, that's subject to some adjustment as you do your research, correct?
Yeah. The watershed line, important to point out, that's all done by remote sensing tools at this point, GIS. It has not been ground truth. That would be something we would undertake as part of engineering.
one additional question. This is probably for the November meeting, but when it comes to an assessment, is it per the amount of land owned on what is taking place?
I'll address that in a general sense. So we use three factors to determine the schedule of assessment. Acres benefited, just the sheer number of amount of your ground that drains into the project, the land use of those acres, and the percentage of the project that is being used by a specific property. We look at every property individually. That schedule of assessments is not something that would be determined until we would get to the final stages of the project. We're in preparation for a final or second or final hearing. The first hearing, we develop a very basic cost estimate that's not based on any survey or engineering data, and we do not figure per parcel assessments for the first hearing.
Okay, any other questions, comments? All right. With that, we will end the viewing and nothing further on the agenda. So
We do not have anything else
this board session is
We'll see
now.
you in November.
Yeah, we'll see everybody in November. Thank you all.